Thank you for asking me to share my experience, strength, and hope. My name is Tara Williamson. I have been in recovery since 9/9 of 99, so it's been a very long time. And I got into recovery because my biological mother was a meth addict who was in and out of prison most of my life, and then my father was in recovery. So I was raised kind of in the best of both worlds, I guess you would say, where I had a mother who was experiencing the repercussions of having a undealt with substance use disorder, and then my father has, he'll have 49 years of recovery this year. So I got kind of like the best of both worlds. And my father's a mental health therapist. He worked in a leading mental health clinic in Arizona, or substance use disorder clinic in Arizona, for a long time. And my sister and I were raised kind of being told that we would probably have a substance use disorder. And we were brought to recovery meetings, and we were kind of shown that it is possible to recover. And then, so I recovered very young. At first, I was involved in 12-step programs, and I was a sponsor, and I did everything that they said that I need to do to try to build my place in recovery. And I will forever be grateful to those people who were involved in my early recovery. And it just built that foundation that has been able to withstand lots of things, because life doesn't stop just when you recover. So I've experienced divorces in recovery. I've experienced traveling the world in recovery. I've experienced moves across the states or into different states through recovery. I've just experienced a wide variety, because that's life. And if I hadn't had that foundation, that strength built within me in my early steps in recovery, like a lot of those things are what kind of topple people off. And then I started working here at STEP. So I traveled around the world. I ended up working here at STEP about 13 years ago, and we were trying to look at how to diversify our funding and what other services weren't being met in the community. And I had recommended to my boss that we should open recovery homes. And I had not told her that I was in recovery, because I don't identify, while it's an important part, it was very much how I was raised in the program, was you don't talk about it, right? There's going to be bias against you, there's going to be backlash, so you just don't talk about it. And I just always been raised that way in recovery. And so I had worked with my boss for 10 years or whatever it was. And I had never told her that I was in recovery, because, there's a lot of other things that I identify as, and I had that kind of I'd been kind of learned that wasn't something you shared openly. And so when I told her that we should do recovery homes, she was like, we don't have any expertise doing it. How are we going to do that? We don't have any experience with recovery. And I was like, okay, let's tell you something. And so I told her, and through that process, and then through opening up these recovery homes, and then through seeing all the miracles that happen in our recovery homes, and the horrifying, sadness that happens in these homes, and people who don't make it, or people who die trying to do it to make it, I realized the importance of getting out there and sharing our experience, and sharing that people can be in long-term recovery. People all around you could be in recovery, and you have no idea, because it just might not be something that they want to share with you. But the importance is that we start sharing those stories, so that people can see how much substance use disorders affects such a wide array of people, and that you can't pigeonhole, this is what a person who has substance use disorder looks like, because we're everywhere. And a lot of us are in recovery, and a lot of us have gone on to live very successful lives as a result of living life in recovery. And so to share that much more openly. So I started being more open with my boss, and then I started being more open with just people in the community, and then that just kind of led to we got to get that out there. And so I started the recovery carnivals. We've had 2 very successful years the last 2 years. We're hoping to just continue to do it forever in September. And that was my way of, just making it even wider, dropping that pebble in the pool, and it just is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we have that every September, where it's a big carnival, lots of providers, lots of people in recovery who have a chance to see this is what recovery can look like, and this is what long-term recovery can look like, this is what short-term recovery can look like, and that we come from all different paths, we come from all different places, and we're here and we're living amazing lives. And so that was why we started that. And then to answer your final question, where that goes into for us is that again, we want to continue to push that stigma to the side. And I feel like last year was the first time that we've had the opportunity to participate in it, and just seeing that impact, that again, we're throwing some more pebbles and just like letting those ripples get bigger and bigger and bigger, of that, like, we're here, we're amazing people, we have a substance use disorder, but that does not negate our ability to contribute in a very meaningful way in this community. And that anyone can do it. Like, if some of us have horrifying stories, and yet some of us have amazing stories now. And so if we can do it, like, everyone can do it. And getting that word out there that that all pathways are accepted, that we're gonna love people until they figure out how to love themselves, and that we interact as a community because we want to make sure that the people who are like hurting the worst are in the center of the crowd, so they can get all of that support from the community. So that's why we like to participate in the March Against Drugs and Violence, and we just want to continue to put that word out there that we're here, and for anyone who is struggling, there is a whole community that would love to have you involved with them.